Let's try some pronoun agreement questions. This is exercise 10 in your book. Correct all errors in agreement. Go ahead and pause the video and try it for yourself first. Alright, we have to correct all errors. So let's take a look here. That means we need to find the pronouns first. Where are our pronouns? Everybody, is that a pronoun? Yes. Has a right to their own opinions, right or wrong. Okay. Everybody is a singular pronoun, right? Singular indefinite pronoun. Subject, verb, everybody has right to their own opinion. Does this match with the antecedent? No. This is singular, and so this must also be singular. Alright, so what should we say? Everybody has a right to. Okay. Well, in the old days, we used to just say his. And nowadays, we don't like that. We could say her. Everybody has a right to her opinion. And I would often do that because, I know that he or she, either one, is acceptable to include all people, except if I write he, that might offend some people. And I don't want to offend anybody. People are sensitive, so I'll choose her. My general rule is, I don't know if I should say it, but my general rule is, if it's something bad, I'll use a he pronoun. And if it's something good, I'll use she. And that sounds kind of wrong too, right? But if my sentence is, let's say, the teacher scolded the rude student, then I'll make the rude student a he and the teacher a she. And the he-she combination makes it clear to read in the rest of the sentence, and it doesn't offend anybody. Okay? So, let's see. I think the book recommends his own opinion, okay, because that's the traditional way of doing it. Nowadays, I think the best thing to do would be to say his or her own opinion. But don't do this, 10 times in one paragraph. That's just really bad writing. So when you can get away with it with just once, do it that way. In your own writing, just do it once. Don't do it multiple times with this his, her, him, her, and all that. Okay. Number 2, either the Marines or their gallant commander, Captain Jinks, may be relied upon for their customary rescue to occur just before the final curtain. And I think the only pronoun I notice is the their here. Okay. So who's the they? They're going to be relied upon for their customary rescue, but we have to analyze how they were mentioned. The way they were mentioned is with the conjunction either, blah, blah, or. Okay. So either the Marines or the commander. Captain Jinks is just a positive for the commander, so let's ignore that for now because it's just the name, no pronouns there. So either the Marines or the commander may be relied upon. This is a plural, but this is a singular. So we need to go with the verb that is closer, right, to the subject that is closer to the verb, or in this case, the may be relied. We can't tell whether that was singular or plural because they have the may be form, which looks the same, but that would have been the selection. It would have been singular for the commander. It would have been a singular for the verb. If you change the verb to something else, you have to keep it consistent with a singular, and then upon for his customary rescue. Okay, all because we have or, even though the sentence is talking about a lot of people involved, we're still going to go with the commander. All right, next set of questions here. In America, he said, one knows, let me highlight here. He said, one knows that he is free, but sometimes he becomes a little afraid, for we are not yet acclimated to freedom. Okay, so any errors there? Well, in America, he said, and this is taken out of context, so he must be some guy talking. So we'll say, all right, that's okay. There's some guy that's talking. One knows. Can we introduce a new person? Yes, because this is some other person that he is mentioning. So the one knows that he is free. Now this he goes with the one. All right. Because we don't like to say one knows that one is free, but sometimes one becomes a little afraid for one is not. See, what happens is if you can get away with one here and one here, that might be okay if you say it about twice in one sentence, and that's the only time you're going to say it in the paragraph. But when you're writing, you can't keep repeating that word one throughout the paragraph. It could end up being like 15 times in one paragraph. It sounds very awkward. Even in one sentence, to say it 4 times would sound very awkward. One knows that one is free, but sometimes one becomes for one is not. Okay, not good. So the traditional way of doing it is to mention one the first time and then use a third person singular pronoun like he. And this is perfectly correct. Okay, if you don't like the he, use a she. One knows that he is free, nominative case, but sometimes he, okay, becomes a little afraid for he. Okay, this is where we need to change, right? We need to keep it the same person. He is not acclimated to freedom. All right, we'll change that because it's the, the smallest change. It's the minimum number of change we can make. But, after reading that sentence, you might not like that third person singular. So you might just say, we know that we are free. That might sound better, more natural in this case. And, oh, it looks like in your answer key, that's actually what they suggested. In America, he said, we know that we are free, but sometimes we become a little afraid, for we are not acclimated. Yes. And yes, that definitely does sound much better because it sounds like a general statement about all people. Okay. Even though the one and the he combination is not wrong per se, it would sound better with the we. Okay. Of course, you could also say you too also, right? He said, you know you are not free. And he's not talking about one person, you, that he's talking to. He's talking about people in general. So, we could be kind of flexible in that sense. Number 2, what a sweet child it is. Where's my pronoun? What a sweet child it is. He seems the image of your friend Jack. Okay? Well, if you choose the he, you got to keep it consistent. So you can say, what a sweet child he is. He seems the image of your friend Jack. I guess we can't do anything with your friend Jack. Or, since it is acceptable for a child, then you can use the it there, but here you have to change it. It seems. All right, you just need to keep it consistent either way. If the pig or the fool. Okay, so it's an either or situation here. You got an or. Subject is pig or fool. Are of a different opinion. It is because they know only their side of the question. As far as pronoun goes, we have, well, this it here is not really a pronoun per se. It's kind of a dummy pronoun that's in there just for the structure. So we shouldn't consider that, okay? Like saying, when you say it's a nice day, you're not really talking about any specific it, okay? It is because they know is what we should talk about, only their side of the question, okay? Let's see. If a pig or fool, and they kind of cheated a little bit. The question should be only about pronoun agreement, but here they have an error in verb choice, which is the are here. All right, in order to choose that are, because you have the if or situation, when you have an or connector, you have subject, subject, pig, and fool, you must ignore this one and go with this one. And that's why the verb needs to be is. Okay, if the pig or the fool is of a different opinion, it is because the fool, he, knows only his side of the question. How well did you do? Let us know, please. Write us a comment. Tell us how well you did. If you have any opinions, let us know also. The book we're following is English Made Simple by Arthur Waldhorn.